What is up, Montana sports fans? You've just stepped into Wide Left Sports, where the stories are real, the passion is loud, and the athletes come first. This isn't just another sports show. This is Montana. Small towns, big dreams, long nights, early mornings, and people who flat out love the game. From Friday night lights to summer ball under the sun, from gym floors to turf fields. If it matters here, we're talking about it. Today's episode is another chance to give Montana athletes the mic and let them tell their story the right way. So settle in, turn it up, and get ready, because this is Wide Left Sports. But first, here's a word from our sponsors. Wide Left Sports is proudly sponsored by TDS Fiber, bringing fast, reliable internet to Billings and beyond. Whether you're streaming the big game, uploading content, or just trying to keep the whole house connected, TDS Fiber delivers the speed you need without the lag. Check availability in your neighborhood and make the switch today. TDS Fiber, internet built for real life. Hello, welcome to Wide Left Sports. Today I am joined by one of the newly minted Helena Baseball Hall of Famers, Jake Samuelson. Jake, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. So feel like a big time now being on a podcast. So this is great. Thanks, Mitch.
Of course, of course. So talk to me. My first question is, well, I have two first questions, but I'll go with this first. What kind of gave you your love for baseball? And then we'll go into the Hall of Fame stuff here in a minute, too.
All right. Yeah, it was definitely my dad and my older brothers. So my dad was a big baseball player back in the day, and he really loved the game. So he got me into baseball, and then got my brothers into baseball too. So I'm number 6 of 7 and number 4 of 5 boys. So my older brothers, all 3 of them, started off playing baseball and stuff, and my dad coached for a long time too in Little League and stuff, and then and stayed there in Little League and stuff and coached. So he's the one that really gave me the love of the game and all that, and I just kind of followed in my brother's footsteps there too. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And so then my next question is, obviously, you just got inducted into the Hall of Fame there in Helena. And so bring me back to when you found out you were going to be a part of this Hall of Fame class for 2026. And what was your reaction?
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's been been ongoing for a couple years now, because I know Coach Burnett pretty well, and I've been kind of helping the Legion program off and on, working with the catchers every once in a while. He'll call me up and ask me if I could come down and work with the catchers and stuff. So I've been doing that off and on for the last number of years. And he mentioned a couple years ago that, hey, we're doing the Hall of Fame and stuff, and you're going to be in there. You're going to be in there. I'm like, okay. I really appreciate that. That'd be just mention me in the Hall of Fame would be a cool honor, not even making it. And so just being mentioned as a votee, I guess, for the Hall of Fame would be a huge honor. And so every year he'd tell me, "Oh, you're about up. You're going to get in this year and stuff." So, and that's what happened this year or last year. He said at the Hall of Fame ceremony last year, he's like, "Jake, you're in next year. I just know for feeling that you're going to get in and stuff." So just having that was a really cool honor to him mention me with it. So, and then in the spring, I think it was in May, they'd announced who got in and stuff, and I was on the list. So that was another big surprise and stuff. So huge honor for that. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. So then walk me through the induction ceremony, because you were actually the one inductee that I've been able to get on after everybody else was before. So walk me through what the emotions were like the night of that induction ceremony, and just
Yeah.
what it was like to have that night.
Okay. Yeah. It was a great night, because I've walked into the stadium a number of times before, just as a player, obviously, and then walking in the stadium as a spectator and stuff, and a fan of the sport and a supporter of the team. And so walking in there that night, Saturday night, was just a flood of emotions, a lot of reminiscing of the years that I played there and everything. So it was great walking in and checking out the whole stadium and seeing all the fans there and all that, and watching the team, the Senators team, because I got in there when the Senators were still playing their afternoon game. So we got to watch a little bit of baseball before the ceremony happened. So that was really cool to watch the Senators play there for a while, watch them play, and then after the game is when they had the ceremony. Got a little nervous getting down on the field and stuff, but it is great having Coach Hogan there with him getting inducted, and then Seth O'Connell. Seth and I played together, so him and I sat in the stands before the game or before the ceremony and stuff. So that was great catching up with him again. And then they brought us down on the field, and that was really cool because it was right by home plate, and that was kind of my home territory there, playing catcher and stuff. So then the ceremony was just awesome. They did a great job with it. So I really appreciate the Helena Legion and stuff, and all the people that are on the board that helped with it. I know Coach Burnett uh, and stuff were involved with that and stuff. So I really appreciated them doing it, putting it together. So it was great. And Alan Goebel, I think, did a lot of work. Coach Goebel, he did a lot of work with it too. So I really appreciate him too. Yeah, and then they announced each one of us and went over some statistics with it. And I was kind of taken back because Seth O'Connell was a great player, great statistics, and same with Coach Hogan. Man, he could rip the ball back in the day, and he hit really well and everything. So to even be mentioned with some of those guys, it was great. And so both those guys went up and got their speeches in and all that, and that was really cool to hear them. And then I had to get up and get my speech, and it was a tough act to follow because Seth's a great talker, and Coach Hogan does a good job too. So it was a tough act to follow and all that. So I gave my speech, and it was pretty awesome, and just a lot of emotions going through and reminiscing, and seeing my parents there supporting me because they supported me all through my Legion career and everything. To see them in the stands again one more time, that was really cool. So yeah, it was awesome. They did a really good job with the ceremony. So
That's awesome. And as I've gotten to interview all of you guys now, one, I think the really cool thing is that a lot of you guys played together. So
yeah,
how cool is it to be able to go in with teammates? You're going in individually, but you're
right.
going in with teammates as well. How cool is that for you?
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome because I played with both Seth O'Connell and BJ Underkoffler, so I played both of them, and I was kind of in between them. Seth was a year ahead of me, and BJ was a year below me, so I was right between them. So I got to play with both of them, and so that was a great honor, and that just shows the caliber of teammates I had. And part of my speech was I'd be okay if they put an asterisk next to my name saying this is a team award because I had such great players going in with me and stuff, and I played with some great players. Because I played with. I think there's at least 5 Hall of Famers now that I actually played with. So I was
Wow.
surrounded by great players that made me better too. So yeah, it was really neat. And then Seth and I was his main catcher all the way through his Legion career and stuff. So him and I played a lot of baseball together, and I caught a lot of innings for him and stuff. So yeah, so it was a special night for all of us, and I'm super proud that I got to share it with Seth and BJ, even though BJ wasn't there. So, but that was great.
That's awesome. And another thing too that I have loved with getting to interview all four of you now is you all are extremely humble. I think you all have said the same thing, that you don't deserve it. And so, what does that say about you guys? That you know you're extremely selfless. You have reached the top of Helena baseball, but yet you don't think you deserve it. What does that say about you guys and about the teams that you guys had at those times?
Yeah, that just shows our how we were as a team. We played so well as a team. We may not have agreed as much off the field or has been best of friends off the field, but man, when we got on the field, man, we were a tight knit group. All 3 years that I was on the Senators, we were a tight knit group and played well together. And we got on each other when we needed to, and we built each other up when we needed to, and supported each other and stuff. So um, yeah, it just really shows that the teams we had back then, we were just really together and building each other up. So um, yeah, that's why I say it's more of a team award for me going in, because I had a lot of great players to play with. So yeah, it was pretty special.
For sure. And so then, my next question is about, you obviously were the catcher when you were playing,
Mm-hmm.
and you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
that you come back and help catchers now every so often when Coach Burnett reels you in.
Yeah.
So what has it been like, to obviously know what you were like as a catcher growing up and
Mm-hmm.
playing, and then seeing what the catchers are doing now and all of
Mm-hmm.
that, and helping them be just as good as you and just as good as they can be now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's in. As you're aware, like the catcher position has really changed in the last 4 or 5 years. And stuff. The whole stance is different. Receiving the ball is different from when I played. So, coaching those kids now with the new techniques that they're using and everything, it's challenging for me. But it also, we just go back to the basics, and I build each catcher up themselves and try to tweak things here and there, because they're great catchers already. Being in high school, these kids are 17, 18 years old, so they have a lot of knowledge already. So it's just kind of fine tuning a few things with their technique and receiving, and then a lot of the mental side of it. I think that's what I bring to the table a lot. Or a lot of older catchers or players that have played in the past, they bring a lot of the mental side of it. So trying to help on the mental side of things is key to help those catchers. So calling a game, helping the pitcher get back in the zone, working on his technique as well, because you're another coach back there as a catcher. So really trying to push that with the catchers now is, hey, you got to be another coach back there, because Coach Goebel or Coach Burnett can't see some of the things that you could see. So really coaching the the pitchers too as well. So yeah, and it's been great to see them and work with them and talk to them what I did in the past versus what they're doing now and stuff. And so it's been fun to see that. And I really love seeing the coaching part where you coach something and then you watch the game and you could actually see them implement that in the game. It's really cool to see. So I get a kick out of that and stuff. So yeah.
I love that. So another part of catching that probably was not a huge part of your catching days was I've seen a lot of catchers with earpieces even at the Legion level.
Yeah.
And so what does that bring to catching, when there is literally a coach in their ear telling them
Yeah.
how to run the game?
Yeah, I love parts of it, and not sure about some of the other parts, but yeah, I saw my really good buddy. He coaches down in Gillette, Wyoming. Coach Perlyberg down there. He's an
Yep.
awesome coach, great coach and stuff. I coached with him for a couple years down there and stuff. And when they were playing up here in Helena, he was doing that. He had a radio and he was calling pitches and helping the catcher out from the dugout, and he had an earpiece in, and I thought that was super cool, pretty neat. Uh, and so it really helps. Then he could get stuff taken care of right away rather than having to call time and have a coaches meeting out on the mound and stuff. So yeah, it's a cool dynamic, and it's interesting to see the technology change and stuff. So yeah, I think it's a great idea and pretty cool to see. But then also trying to work that with back then it was just me, and I'd have to wait either for a coach's meeting out in the mound or talk to us in between innings and stuff.
Right.
And so then it was just me and the pitcher out there, the battery, me and the pitcher out there doing it, and me calling pitches and stuff and trying to run the game and all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see the technology being introduced now and helping the kids out more too. So, yeah.
For sure. So then, as a catcher, because I always find this so fascinating for catchers, is you are having to catch the whole gambit of pitcher. You're catching, the potential flamethrower that's throwing as hard as he can. You're
Yeah.
catching the guy that can't hit his strike zone to save his life.
Oh, yep.
How do
Yep.
you prepare for all those different types of pitchers?
It's a lot of the mental side of it. Again, going back to that, you got to really know your pitchers, and knowing each kid and stuff like that. And back then, like Seth O'Connell, he didn't throw real hard, but he was so crafty. He knew the game so well and was crafty in each pitch and each batter and stuff like that. And so I had it down really well to work with him, that I didn't need to coach him a whole lot. It was more just working together on how we're going to pitch each pitcher or batter and work that way, because he was just so crafty. And he had to be crafty because he didn't throw so hard. But he had a
Right.
great 12-6 curveball. And then I know his senior year, he developed a little slide piece that would break off a little bit, and then his changeup. And then, man, he just spotted his fastball really well too. So we just worked through that. And then another kid I played with, Tanner Swamby, he was inducted last year. Man, he was just a straight shooter, man. He just pumped it in there. He's like, he'd throw hard, and he would just like, here it is, come at, try to hit it and stuff. And he was like super easy to catch. Even though he threw one of the hardest, he was a flamethrower out there and threw really hard. He was actually really easy to catch because he was just spotted the ball and just pumped it in there and stuff like that. When he did throw it in the dirt, then it got a little spicy because it was coming in hard and stuff like that. So him and I caught him a lot too, in through college too as well and stuff. And he was great to work with. And then the ones that are hard are the ones that can't spot and can't hit it or wild all the time and stuff. But those are the ones you really got to coach through, and you're picking apart their mechanics and stuff like that, trying to get them back in the zone. But yeah, you're trying to set yourself up before the game, knowing who's pitching. Okay, this is how it's kind of going to go, or this is how they like to throw, how they like to pitch, and trying to get them in the zone or whatnot, and trying to make them as successful as they can and stuff. So that was a big part of it, is trying to make them the best pitcher that they can be and bring out the best each time that they pitched. And I think that's key with the catcher. You got to have a good catcher that can really get the best out of your each pitcher and stuff. And so that's either calling pitches the right pitches, or that's locating, receiving the ball, trying to get pitches called strikes that are a borderline, and then also getting them in the zone. If their mechanics are kind of messed up, you got to be the one to help get them back in the zone. So yeah. So yeah.
For sure. So then you mentioned that you did go on to play college ball with a Helena teammate, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And so, what was your kind of like recruiting process like, and what was that process like for you?
Yeah, it was interesting. So back in high school, I wasn't the greatest student. I didn't do well academically, so my grades were pretty low. But I played well, so I had a lot of looks, a lot of interest from different colleges and things like that. And I remember even some pro scouts came and looked at a few of us and stuff, or they were there to watch maybe somebody that we were playing against. But some of us on the Senators, we shined pretty well, so they'd come and
Yeah.
talk to us or whatnot. Um, so I had some interest in different colleges looking and stuff. But then my senior year, I had actually decided to go into the military. So the January before I graduated, I had actually signed up to go into the Army. And so that kind of halted my recruiting process for playing baseball and all that. So my senior year, I just kind of played through the season. Yeah, colleges were interested, but they heard that I was going to military, so they kind of backed off and all that. And then there's a state tournament actually here in Helena, and I played pretty well. And the Miles City coach saw me and wanted to talk, and so I talked to him, and I was still on the fence of going military because I hadn't got shipped out yet. Uh, and he wanted to offer a scholarship and everything. So I talked to the recruiter, the military recruiter, and he said, "Hey, if you got a scholarship to go play college baseball, they'll let you out. You don't have to stay in the military, or since you haven't joined yet,
Yeah.
you could get out." So I prayed about it and talked to my parents about it and asked my dad and other people. And all through my senior year, everybody's like, "Oh man, you should be playing baseball somewhere. You should go play college. You're good enough to go play," and all that. And so I him and hawed at it, and like college baseball or any sport, there's a timeline for it. There's a
Right.
cap on it and stuff. So I can't be playing much longer. So it's like, well, think I want to keep playing for a couple more years and see how it goes. So I was supposed to get shipped out for the military, I think September 2nd of that year of 2003. And I think I signed with Miles City to go play there mid-August or late August. So just before I was supposed to get shipped out and stuff. So it was an interesting recruiting process and all that, but it was a lot of fun getting colleges to call you and stuff, or you'd see college scouts in the stands watching you and stuff, or even professional. We had a few professional scouts in the stands too. That was really cool to see, really fun. So yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. So then you went the JUCO route, playing at Miles City, um, and that's a route that a lot of kids from Montana take now. Whether it's you know east going to Miles City, or it's they're going to Wenatchee. I know is one that gets a lot.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a lot in the Washington, Idaho area that get a lot of our
yeah.
kids.
Grand
Um,
Wax.
yeah. So what about that route do you think is a pro for athletes now that are looking to play at the next level?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity and a good route to go. It's big all across the country. You go into JUCO route. California even has their own JUCO league down there, and the JUCOs are huge down that area. Same in Nevada and stuff like that. Some of the big names have gone the JUCO route and everything stuff. So the big thing is it gives opportunity to play right away. So I jumped in there wanting to win the starting position, the starting catching position right off the bat. I ended up getting the starting position, so I was able to play right off the bat that first spring of the year. And I think that's what happens with JUCO. It gives you the opportunity to play, to where if you go to a 4-year school, which is a great route too, obviously for the education, uh, but you may not start, or you probably get redshirted your first year. So you
Right.
sit out and things, especially if they don't have a JV program or not. Um, so it just gives you the opportunity to play right away. And I think it's great for Montana because we come from a lot of small communities. So going to a JUCO, the schools are a lot smaller, so you fit in a lot better. That's what I needed. So I was really appreciative of Miles City there, of MCC, that it was a small community to where they could help me out with my grades, because obviously I didn't do so well in high school. So it really helped me build up my academics and everything. And that, to where I think if I would have gone to a 4-year school, I might have been lost in the shuffle and stuff. So it just gives the kids another opportunity on the academic side and the baseball side, and to fit into a program too. So coming from small schools. So yeah, I think it's a great route.
For sure. And so then, as we're kind of wrapping up here, Jake, what is some advice that you have for baseball players that are in programs now, whether it be Legion or whatever, to get to college and then get to where they're getting their name called for the Hall of Fame for their town or their
Mm-hmm.
Legion program or whatever they're playing in?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. One thing I mentioned in my speech was surround yourself with good people, people that are knowledgeable about baseball, about academics, or just good, solid people. Surround yourself with them, because they're going to make you better, and that's what I had going through. So surround yourself with those people that are knowledgeable about the sport, that can help take your level, your talent to the next level and stuff. So um, and then get your name out there. Try to promote yourself a little bit. It's hard to do in Montana with baseball, especially because a lot of people don't realize that we have some decent baseball up here in Montana and stuff. We have some really good talent too and stuff. So and don't just get discouraged. There's so many levels of baseball at the next level that kids can go play. A lot of kids could go play at the next level and stuff. So they could go the JUCO route, and there's even different levels of the JUCO route and stuff. So then they could go the college route, and there's the NAIA, there's NCAA. So many different routes and so many programs out there that if you want to go play college ball, you can. You just got to get your name out there and kind of recruit for yourself and stuff. And then just enjoy the time. My favorite years of playing played 20 some years of baseball, and in the high school, the Legion baseball was my favorite. I really enjoyed those times, making friends and having a good time. We go camping all the time after games and stuff, or after practices. Like Seth, we would all bring our camping stuff to go camping at practice. As soon as practices would over, we would jump in somebody's truck and go up in the mountains and go camping and everything. And or on road trips, out on road trips, we were playing wiffle ball out in the parking lot in between games or whatnot, or at night and stuff, and having a blast. So I would say advice is just go out and have fun. Make it enjoyable no matter what you're doing. You're gonna get in slumps, you're gonna strike out, you're gonna have a bad day on the mound, things like that, but don't let those discourage you, and keep having fun and playing hard and stuff. So yeah, I guess that's what I would tell them.
I love that, Jake. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Congratulations yet again on becoming a Helena Baseball Hall of Famer. And yeah, congrats on everything.
That's cool. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's kind of cool to say, and interesting. I could go around and say, "Hey, I'm a Hall of Famer" or whatnot, and so it's kind of cool, but very humbling and all that. So yeah, it's super neat. So I know it's just a great honor to be mentioned with some of those guys that I played with the past, or some of those great names that you hear from long ago, like Steve Bennett. I mean, he was drafted and played professionally and stuff, and to even be mentioned with those guys is really great. So it's pretty cool, and to see the future, and knowing that there's going to be kids out there like, hey, I'm in the Hall of Fame with the Jake Samuelson or Seth O'Connell,
Yeah.
and the Lesage boys like Austin Lesage and all that. And so, yeah, it's pretty neat. So I really appreciate it, and thank you, Mitch, for having me on and promoting that and everything. So thank you again.
Of course, you have a great rest of your day.
Okay, thanks, Mitch. Take care.
You too.
All right, bye.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Wide Left Sports. If you liked what you heard, hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and keep spreading the word, because this platform grows when Montana sports fans show up for other Montana athletes. These stories matter, the work matters, and the passion around sports in this state is something truly special. Huge thank you to our sponsors for helping us make this possible, and thank you for listening, supporting, and riding with us. We've got more conversations coming, more athletes to highlight, and more Montana stories to tell. Until next time, keep supporting local sports, keep cheering loud, and keep it right here with Wide Left Sports.